And Kelly, let's go ahead and get this thing started. Let's have some fun and let's do this. So for those of you who don't know, or you may or may not have, Kelly Atchison is going to be speaking to us today. And I have had the honor for the last 6, 7 months getting to work with her in a coaching relationship as she's been working on building different systems and processes and things like that. And y'all are going to get to hear she needs some systems and processes. And that's why we started working together, because she has got some crazy fun things going on. And when you start to hear all the stuff she's got going on, I think your mind is going to be blown. So with that, I am excited to introduce my friend and a rock star, Kelly Atchison. How you doing today, Kelly?
Great.
Awesome. Are you a little nervous? I mean, look at all these people that are showing up to learn and listen to you.
I'm so used to being like behind the scenes. I've never like on display. I just hide behind my computer. So this is weird.
That's okay. I'm going to ask everybody, and yeah, y'all have heard me say this a few different times, but if you could, when you're speaking, it's sometimes hard, guys, when you're looking into a blank screen and just seeing like screensavers and stuff. So unless you're naked, I say that all the time, unless you're naked, getting out of the shower, turn on your camera so that Kelly can see who you are. It just helps as a speaker when you get to see faces and reactions versus not seeing that. So thank you for turning on your cameras. All right, so with that, Kelly, as we get cooking and people are still logging in, I want to know, what's the craziest thing you're working on with AI right now? Because some of what you're going to talk about today is utilizing technology. What's the craziest thing you're working on right now?
Let me show you.
Oh, okay.
All right, let's see. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah, it is pulling up. Yeah, I see it. So, all right.
So, well, that's one of, hold on, let me start here. This is one of the things I'm working on. It's a whole bunch of like automations with AI. So basically, you can say, put it in the chat, I want to go find this type of business owner in this industry with this many employees, that's an owner or CEO. And so it'll go scrape that data, and then it'll find their name and email and phone number and all that, put it into a Google Sheet, and then send it to me. So then I can then send that Google Sheet to um, an email automation. So it automatically uses ChatGPT to send out the emails to them.
Holy crap, girl.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, okay, so now Kelly, I'm gonna be honest about this, and maybe a few of you were thinking the same thing. So when I asked her though, what was the craziest thing you're working on with AI, that's one of the small pieces. But anybody here kind of like, whoa, it just went a little bit over my head with some of the automations and stuff. Okay, so Kelly, remember, you're talking to a group, not everybody, but a lot of people in this group are not going to be as tech savvy as you, because I know how many hours you've been pouring into learning all this behind the scenes, right? So it's crazy. So I guess I'm going to ask you one more AI question, then we'll kick off. So based upon what you're learning and about lead gen with AI and some of the things, AI is not going away, huh? It's gonna get more and more prevalent. And we probably ought to start. Each person ought to start learning a little more, huh?
Yeah, and I think a lot of people, when they first start with it, they use it for what they shouldn't be using it for. Like everyone's so excited to have a voice AI bot call their leads or whatever, but I just don't see that's where it's going. It's more personal. So I'm just really against using all that automation for the AI bots and everything. Like email's cool or whatever, but I don't want to get a phone call from a robot.
Exactly. I'm glad you said that. So guys, we talk about that all the time when you're with me in different groups. Again, AI is great, but it's not to replace you. And if you're chasing a shiny toy wanting AI to replace you, then you don't have a job, right? So that's how we make money. We talk to people, we have relationships. So, all right, with that, Kelly, I know you've got a presentation. Share with us. I know, let's start with this. How many DSCR loans are you trying to close this month? And if you land all the appraisals, how many appraise, if they all come in and stuff, how many DSCR loans do you think you can close this month?
That's a good question. So let's see, one pipeline, I've got 46 loans. The other one, I've got 13 more. So I don't know what that is.
So you got you have almost 60 DSCR loans in the pipeline right now.
Yep.
Okay. All right, guys. So that's how we're going to kick off the call. Does that get your attention? Okay. How many conforming conventional loans do you have in your pipeline today?
Zero.
Zero. How many real estate agents do you have to call out of those 60 deals in your pipeline? How many of those are real estate agent driven that you have realtors, chomping at your heels, asking questions and so forth?
Zero. I don't talk to realtors at all.
All right. So guys, you want to hear more? All right, Kelly, with that, let's have some fun.
Okay.
Please share.
Method to the madness. I feel like a lot of us, we always get on here and we talk about, this is how I run my business. This is how I get all my leads. This is why I'm so great, blah, blah, blah. But like, none of us really know anything about each other personally. So like, I've worked with Holly for over 5 years and, 2 different companies, and she still doesn't even really know that much about me. And it was like kind of bothering me lately. So I kind of wanted to give you guys a background. So I started doing subprime lending, like unsecured car loans, personal loans. Kind of a shit show. Like they're pretty high interest rates. So we would ask someone for collateral, like, hey, you've got this free and clear car. Let's refi, get some cash out. We're going to pay off all your revolving debt, put you in a new term loan. Well, they didn't like the rate on the term loan. So I would have to learn to put it on paper. Here's what you're currently paying on your credit cards, all these payments. This is your credit score. But if we could somehow move you over to this term loan, even though it's a high rate, it's going to boost your credit score and lower your payments at the same time. So you kind of have to learn to sell that. I actually went to school for psychology, and it kind of fucked up my way of thinking about the world, honestly. Like, I don't know how people live normally after they go to school for that, because you see the way people do things in life, like they're all kind of doing the same thing at the same time and none of them know it, and they follow the same patterns and none of them realize they're doing it. Yeah, but then you also realize why people do the things they do and understand them more as a person, as opposed to you're doing things this way, this is the wrong way, you should be doing it this way. You just understand the thought process behind it instead. And then I went to the renovation team. I kind of had to learn to read in reverse, read documents in reverse. So I'd get these closing disclosures with a budget and no explanation on how they got that budget or what money went where or who's been paid or what still needs to be paid, what's left in the budget. And so that was very difficult to figure out. Then I started processing during COVID. Everyone's pipelines blew up. So I was processing 50 loans per month and then working from home at the same time. And that was new. I'd never worked from home. So yeah, I would literally just take a dinner break and put the kids to bed and then keep on working till midnight and do it again the next day. Then they were like, oh, you can do 50 loans. Let's give you some more training on the weekends so you can learn how to underwrite too, because we're short on underwriters. So they would give me the conventional simple loans, easy income, not self-employed, and then I would underwrite those and approve them. After that, I worked with a loan officer. He was doing 300 million per year at that time, huge, big producer. He asked me to be his assistant. So I went over and did that and then ended up on straight commission. So that was fun. And then the rate hikes started happening. So once the rate hikes started happening, his volume went way down. My income kept going down. I was like, I don't want to stay here. So then I figured I'll just go start my own business. And then I joined Nexa and became a broker. So then I kind of had to figure out how to start my own business from scratch because I didn't have any of my own clients.
And Kelly, when did you start as a loan officer? Let's get that baseline. When did you actually start as a loan officer, 100% commission? What year? 2023,
Yeah,
24?
it was like the very beginning of 2023, like January.
Perfect. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, I haven't been doing this for very long, but I ended up making President's Club my first year doing it. I don't know how I did that, but so yeah, I didn't even know how to run a business. I had no clients. I was like, I am not social. I don't want to talk to realtors. I just don't want to do that. I don't want to go out and meet people. So I just used what I knew because I was used to being behind the scenes, like using computers. My dad was a computer programmer. So when I was a kid, he bought me this little green screen computer with MS-DOS and taught me how to like prompt it to get into my games. And so I'd sit there like playing DuckTales on my computer all day, every day instead of going outside. Um, and I ended up wanting to learn how to code. I started that, but it was boring. I crashed my whole computer trying to learn how to hack. That was fun. I ended up like just taking a whole bunch of online courses. Like any class I've ever taken has been online. I can't do in person. Those classes led me to TikTok, where you're in like these chat groups of people who are all learning real estate investing, and so you end up becoming friends with a whole bunch of people on Discord. And then I just started teaching myself AI for fun. I got into automation. So I got the CRM with Danielle. They're done by one CRM. And she started teaching me how to build out the automations in there. I was like, oh, this is really cool. So I kind of ran with that and started learning how to do it myself. And then I wanted to learn marketing. So I took a whole bunch of classes on that, learning like media buying and how to do ads and stuff like that. Even how to do a TikTok shop. And then end result, you kind of saw part of this earlier. This is like an ultimate workflow of like my assistant who does everything, my whole business, all on autopilot with automations. That works in conjunction with the CRM, but this is in N8N. And then I also have a whole team of virtual assistants. So like I on here can just go on this board in ClickUp, and then there's a whole team of virtual assistants. There's probably like 5 or 8 of them in there, and I assign them tasks, and then whatever I want done, then whoever's in charge of like, you know, automations or whoever does marketing or whatever, they go in here and create all this for me. And so here's my tech stack is what we call it. So basically all the systems that I use. So PropStream is one that you guys can use pretty easily, and I'll show you how to use it really quick. And I even made a cheat sheet, and I've got videos to watch afterwards if I go too fast. That one's for like conventional type of stuff. And there's another portal called X Leads. We can pull, you know, investor leads, flippers, landlords, stuff like that. And then the Done by One CRM, I've got the Chat GPT and the Operator, which I kind of just showed you. The ClickUp, which I just showed you, that's for my VA team. Smartlead.ai. This was one of the coolest things I found. So it's basically an email system, but you can set up, you know, I only have 5 domains, but you can have up to 10 domains. They warm up the domains, and then you can send up to 10,000 emails a day that don't go to spam. It's pretty cool. Let's see, Canva. I'm on Canva now. I use it for flyers, presentations, ads, like whatever.
Hi, Nancy.
And then the N8N, that's the one where all those automations live.
So I just wanted to give you a real quick rundown on Wesley. He only has 1 FICO score, so I've got some extra hoops I have to jump through in order to get the pre-approval in place. But I'm confident it's going to be
Hey,
just
Jerry, mute yourself.
There we go. Okay, so PropStream. This is one I put a cheat sheet for you guys. It's going to go out afterwards. So if you wanted to search, like, let's say your niche is FHA, you could go into whatever county you're in and look up people who have an FHA loan whose like rate is high that you could refi. So you could go in here. Let's see, MLS, no. Ownership doesn't matter. property doesn't matter. Let's say you don't want really small loan amounts, you can just go in here and update this, like estimated minimum value is 200,000. Mortgage info, go to FHA. And then interest rate minimum we'll say is 6 or 7. That gives you 5,000 leads right there. So you can go and export all these leads into a spreadsheet, skip trace them, and then start marketing them like an FHA streamline refinance.
Explain skip tracing. Just like, let's walk through that real quick. So when somebody watched you just do that, okay, because again, now you're helping them see an FHA, like what would you do? When you say skip tracing, what does that mean? Explain it. And then like, what would your next step kind of carry on? Thank you.
So you would go add to list. Oh, can only do 5,000. And we'll create a new list. We'll say FHA refi Wallace County. Oops. This can take a while.
And while that's spooling, you said you can send up to 10,000 emails a day. How many are you currently sending with, right? Or is this is a new one you're just starting, this new strategy right here?
Yeah, last week I only set like 2,000 because I'm still warming it up a little bit. I don't want to like overload it.
Yep, makes sense. Kind of getting it warmed up. And then I can't wait until you move and show them, like after you show them this, how to like source for some DSCR specific stuff, because I know they're excited to hear that as well.
Oh yeah, I've got that on the cheat sheet, but that one's a little more complicated.
Kelly, can I ask a question? Yeah, you had mentioned before you were warming up a domain. Can you explain that a little bit, please?
So basically you get a domain and you can send emails from each domain in that CRM. And so you have the email addresses sending each other emails all day, every day, and like opening them and like sending them back. So that way your sending reputation is good. And so it's less likely to go to spam once you start sending it to real people.
So you're sending it back and forth. I mean, so let's say I create a new email. So I'm going to send it to where? To my regular email address?
Yes and no. So I've got a whole team of people that were doing it for me. It's called Carpe Diem. They'll set it all up for you. They'll warm up the domains. They'll do it all. So you don't have to know how to do it.
Got it.
Honestly, you don't have to know how to do any of this stuff. You can just.
Oh, right. I just didn't understand what it was. So.
Yeah.
And guys, I'll give you a good example. How many of you, because a lot of you work with me in different groups and stuff, how many of you might have gotten an email from me that's gone to your spam or junk here recently? Anybody? Okay. I just figured out that was happening. So literally just this morning, about 2 hours ago, I was working with my tech person. We had to kind of reconfigure my domain, my sending domain. And so warming it up, to give an example, I was going to send a new blast out to a couple, like 1,000 people saying we're having this meeting. And he goes, no, don't do that. He said, you want to warm it up, right? You want to do a couple, like do 25 at a time, like 25 later today. And you want that email to the kind of the algorithm or the domain to not think you're spamming. So that you have a good reputation, if that helps, guys. Okay. So I did that to try to fix my issue of my emails going into your spam. But I have to like slow walk it for a couple of days to let the domain get kind of caught up. Like, oh, okay, Dave isn't just spamming, right? So you don't want to go from nothing to a couple thousand emails at one time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this keeps track of like, how many replied or bounced or unsubscribed, all that. So it just keeps track of your reputation so you don't burn the domain. And even if you do burn a domain, then you've got, 7 or 8 others, whatever. And that's why you don't want to do like too many from your one domain in your one CRM if you're scaling. Oh, okay, PropStream. So once it's done, you can go select all these that you just pulled and then go to new campaign and skip trace in here. This one is kind of expensive. It's 12 cents per lead or per contact, but you can go over to like Titan Skip and do it for a penny. So I just export this and then go import it to Titan Skip and save all that money.
Okay, so for $50, if you went over there, so for $50, a penny a piece on that current list of about 5,000. And what does it do when you're skip tracing? What information are you sourcing or validating?
So right now it's just like a name and an address and all that, but you don't have their phone number or email, and you need that to start marketing. So you just go pull that info from somewhere else.
Perfect. And by skip tracing it, that allows you to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, guys, so did you hear that, everybody? So literally, she created a list of 5,000 people that you watched her search, address and some financial information, but then by doing the additional roughly $50, you could then get phone numbers and emails by running it through another third-party skip tracing software, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I'm kind of repeating it so everybody, sees it and gets it, right? I mean, so think about that, guys. Now she's got a targeted FHA list that she showed you how she pulls that, and she did that one in Florida. Okay, great stuff. Keep going. This is good.
And then there's a link here for the free 7-day trial of PropStream if you want to use it. Then there's webinars, a video library, YouTube. It like teaches you all the ways you can use it. And then I've also got a cheat sheet in here for the filters. So
can you throw the link for PropStream if anybody wants to do a free 7-day trial? Can you throw your link in the chat real quick so that it's in there? I'm not able to click on it, or I would do that for you.
Here we go. And then, yeah, here's the filter guide. So let's say you want to do like VA, here's what you would do: HELOC, construction, fix and flip, DSCR, vacant land, portfolios, ARM, commercial, condos, anything you could think of, you can find on here. Other than that, okay, so for ChatGPT, this is a whole rabbit hole, but I'll make it quick. If you want to train your ChatGPT, most people just come in here and just start like asking it questions, not knowing how to actually use it. So if you want it custom to you and like spit back answers that mirrors your style and your personality and your business, all you have to do is go up to here and go to customize ChatGPT. And then it'll ask you questions like, what do you do? I'm a mortgage broker and realtor working with investors and wholesalers. And then you just like detail everything about yourself, what you want your ChatGPT to do, how you want it to respond, like what kind of resources you want it to use and tools, anything that you want it to know about you. So that'll give you way more custom responses. Then once you train it on who you are and your business, you can go over here and make projects. So in the projects, let's say I want, let's see, a personal trainer or whatever. Create the project. And then you can add files. Like let's say you've got a body composition scan. You can upload that. Your 23 results, upload that. Like your, I don't know, anything about you, like your diet, your habits, your sleep habits, your, Fitbit results, whatever. Put it in there and then tell it what you want it to help you with. And it'll give you advice based off of your specific information. Like the other day I had one, I had it scan my face and tell me like what kind of products I should use, what color makeup, what color hair, what color clothes, what should I be eating to like fix this, It's pretty cool. And then You can also do custom GPTs in here, like you can go explore GPTs. This is basically like an app store for ChatGPT. You figure out what you want to do, like I want help writing cold emails or whatever. There's probably a GPT in here that somebody made like that. I actually made 3 of them for you guys that I put into the cheat sheet right here. So all you have to do if you already have ChatGPT is you go in here and you click on it. Everything that I've told you guys about today, I put into this first GPT. So if you want to learn how to do marketing for your business or AI for your business, you just click on that one, start asking it questions, and it'll guide you on how to do that. I made one for unsecured business funding so that if you have any questions, you don't have to like blow up the AE or whatever asking him questions. And then I made you guys a therapy one that's really funny. Yeah, just go in there, click on it, start asking it stuff. And this one, I trained it to roast you. You can go in there and be like, hey, my realtor's a dick. And it'll start roasting them and like make you laugh.
Nobody on this call would think that. Now, come on. Yeah, they might. Exactly. Look at everybody's like, yes, that was good. I like that.
So yeah, that's about it. Other than that, like if there's ever something that you don't know how to do that's pretty technical, and ChatGPT is trying to walk you through it, but you're like, no, just do it for me. You could go over here to Operator, tell it open up a browser tab, and then tell it what you want it to do in that browser tab and make it go do it for you. And it'll like click around the screen, it'll type, it'll like research. It controls the screen.
So it will actually, guys, when you do that with Operator, what she's saying, taking it to a different level, she can, instead of just telling you how to do something, the AI will now then take over like your computer screen and start like doing something in your CRM for you, actually writing out an automation or something. So, all right. So before we move on, Kelly, and do some questions, I want to drill into, because we have some great questions, but how do you take what you do, and how do those on the call that are not doing DSCR, right? Or not doing much, they're not monetizing it at a high level yet. They're getting an occasional referral here and there, right? But they've not monetized it. Again, if you missed the beginning, she has 60 loans in process right now in her pipeline, all DSCR, not one real estate agent calling her asking, about when we closing. Okay. So how do you take some of the tools that you're using? Like if we were to break it down into maybe 1 or 2 simple steps, what would a recommendation be on how to start building a not 60, but a small DSCR business? Can you walk us through like maybe 1 or 2, 3 simple steps?
Go on social media, join a bunch of groups, start like just talking to people, go like take people's classes on real estate, stuff like that. And the more groups you join and the more people you talk to, the more friends you make. And then you just naturally refer people to each other when you're friends. Like I don't go into these groups expecting to be like, oh, you're just paycheck, I'm trying to get leads. No, I'm just going in there to make friends, and then friends send each other stuff.
Right. All right. And then how are you leveraging something like PropStream? Do you leverage that at this time to source for investor deals or commercial properties?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Can you show that?
Sure. Well, not really anything to show, but when you
Okay.
pull a list of leads and then you skip trace it, I then send it over to a VA who is cold calling them all day to see if they want, access to off-market properties in my portal. Or you could, find people who own 3 or more properties and call them and be like, hey, are you looking to add more properties to your portfolio, or some sort of like value that you can add to them. So if you don't know what kind of value, you could be like, I want investor leads. How can I use I've trained this to answer this for you.
So literally everybody watching this could go get the 7-day demo of PropStream, then utilize the GPT that you created to ask questions of how to identify and target their niche that they want to in PropStream to get some really good data, correct?
Yep, this will tell you exactly what to do. Everything that I know, I kind of put into this GPT, so it's like asking me questions, but you're asking this instead.
Is that helpful, everybody? Basically, you're tapping into her head right there. Simon, I'm going to ask you a question real quick because I know you do a lot of, and if you're not feeling well and can't talk, that's just let me know. But I know you do a lot of DSCR stuff. You really niched this thing down and you're really good at it. Are you using any of the tools like this that Kelly's using okay. So somebody like you that's already doing it and made President's Club, is your mind spinning of how you can utilize some of this to even grow at a faster level?
Absolutely. Like I know we were talking before about like Fluid Pro versus PropStream. I haven't really seen PropStream until now. That's amazing though. I mean, all of my stuff is all from like face to face handshakes, driving to RIAs and meeting people and like embedding myself in investor communities personally. But I mean, that's amazing because I mean, it's any market and I mean, wow.
Simon,
Good.
you can use this to create custom audiences on Facebook because then you're paying less per lead. So you pull a list of all these investors, upload it to Facebook as a custom audience, run an ad, and then it's going to specifically to people that could use it.
Too. I haven't done that yet, but I mean, you can even run that with like $2 a day instead of like $40 a day, and it's just hitting their stream because you're hitting so many more. That's brilliant.
Yep. You could
I
have
can
4
see
or
it,
5.
like there's
You could have multiple of those going, Simon, or everybody, and be doing $1 or $2 a day ads, just retargeting people in that targeted list on Facebook. And I know that went over some of your head, and we'll bring
That's
it,
incredible.
we'll bring it down. But Kelly, one of the things, and we've got some really good questions coming. Share, you mentioned and I know this because we talk every week. Where do you go take a lot of training as far as like online stuff? You go to a couple of different sources, YouTube, you go online to Discord. Tell everybody what Discord is and what kind of training stuff that you can go learn on Discord about how to do some of this stuff.
Oh, are you talking to me?
Yeah, go ahead and just share what Discord is and how you leverage it to learn some of this stuff that you're dropping a few of these nuggets.
So honestly, I would look up Skool, Skool, because there's a bunch of really cool classes in there. Like this is how I learned how to do those automations. You go to the classroom, it teaches you here's how you do all these automations. And then once you're in these classes, you just learn everything you can and implement it immediately. Don't just watch it, do it as you watch it. And learn, and then you have a whole community of people that you can talk to in here, and so then you're networking with people in here that you can help each other do loans or whatever. There's all sorts of ones like Real Estate Masterclass, LO Accelerator, X Leads, all sorts of cool stuff. And then a lot of these communities, once you join them, they also have Discord, and Discord is basically just a whole bunch of chat rooms. Like my friend Jen, she's a realtor that's pretty big on TikTok. Yeah, you just go in here and then there's all sorts of people in here talking to each other about stuff, mainly about real estate on the ones that I'm in.
Very cool.
Just like networking online and instead of in person.
Very cool. So those of you that are in my the Loan Officer Huddle community, okay, you guys have heard me say, I try to keep the spammers out, the crypto people. That's why you have to, log in with your email originally. But that's kind of what Skool is. Go High Level has its own version of that. So you can also search on Go High Level or Skool, Skool, for all kinds of classes and go learn. So, all right. So Kelly, You got time for some questions here, maybe 10 or 15 minutes of Q&A? Okay, so let's do this. So I know PropStream. Do you know what the cost of that is per month? Somebody asked that.
$99.
Perfect, $99. Let's go, Oliver. Let's get your question, and then I'm going to look at the chat box real quick.
Hey, Kelly and Dave. My question I actually put in the chat box, but it was did you say tight and skip or type and skip?
Oh, Titan, Titan.
Oh, Titan. Okay. Titan.
Perfect.
and skip. Thank you.
Okay. What about being licensed? Do you have to be licensed in every state for DSCR? I know that could get into licensing, but just maybe hit that quickly.
Nope, I do DSCR in a lot of states with no license. There's certain
Okay.
states that do, but hardly any.
Very cool. Simon, what's your question there?
No, you'd use a similar technique to get listings, right?
hmm
Listing leads.
I use this for wholesaling too. So like I'll have a VA call these people and say, hey, do you want to sell your property? If they do, they start getting all the information and pass it to me.
So how do you leverage that? Are you just selling it directly to your investors? I know you have a real estate license. I do not. Or are you passing them to your property flippers?
Yeah, just selling them offline. Like I'll put it under contract under an LLC, assign it to my end buyer, make a commission in between from selling that contract.
You're actually wholesaling yourself. That's awesome.
Perfect. Thomas, go ahead. Thomas Borshman.
So who are you hiring as a VA? Like, where would I find a VA that's actually good at this? How are they scrubbing the list for cold calling? What's the liability there?
I would do, let's see, DJ Christofferson. He's got a whole team of VAs that you can hire, and they're training them. I pull the lists, so the lists are not scrubbed. They just kind of call whatever you give them.
Okay. And you haven't gotten nailed for anything as far as cold calling someone on the DNC list?
Oh yeah, it does tell you if they're on the DNC when you pull it.
Okay. All right. Oh, for Titan AI or not Titan AI, Titan Skip?
Yeah.
Okay. And then
That's good.
roughly, what do you have in a budget for your VA each month?
I would plan on like 1,500 to 2,000 per VA.
Okay.
Yeah, and guys, when they're talking about that, some of you joined. I did a class, 60 days ago on the Do Not Call TCPA. That is a real thing. So don't think that you don't have to deal with that. Now, again, different if you're calling a business. So if you're calling an investor who it's Atchison Investment Corp and they own 1,000 properties, that's different than a homeowner, but you all need to be up on the do not call and the TCPA guidelines. And texting this year, 2025, texting is, and it always has been, but texting is considered a phone call. Okay. So you got to be careful, guys. I mean, you can't, don't play fast and loose and come back and say, well, Kelly said I could do this. No. Buyer, you get your own console on that, but just know the rules. Rob Aubrey, what's your question? You're muted, Rob.
Yeah, you just gave me a second question. So if a text is a phone call, does that apply the same to business? So if you text a business owner, that counts as a phone call, not a problem with the DNC?
Correct. I think so, because again, businesses are looked at differently right now. Yeah, they're looked at differently. And there's some guideline changes on that, guys, where some of this has been put on stay for 12 months until January of 2026. I'm just sharing this so you know, but here's the thing. There are mortgage originators and realtors that in the last 18 to 24 months that are being fined by the government. And when Kelly talks about like the domain, they are actively, the Federal Trade Commission, they are actively trying to getting Verizon, AT&T, Sprint, T-Mobile, they are actively getting them to engage. If you're reported as spam, your number can be burned. So you don't want to do things with your cell phone when you start doing things in mass. Now, if you're doing your databases, guys, to your own clients, that's a little different, but there's specific guidelines even there. So you need to be aware, and maybe in the next, 30 days here this month, I'll do that TCPA TCPA do not call class again for you all because it's really important. I mean, you can be fined up to 34,000 plus civil penalties. Who
Okay.
wants that one, right? So be careful.
So the actual first question I had was for Kelly. So Kelly, that domain warming up, what did you say the name of that place was
Smartlead.ai.
for warming up a domain?
Well, that's the system, like a CRM, and then the people that do it for you is called Carpe Diem.
Carpe diem, spelled, normal way. So what is it? So when you type in Google Carpe Diem, you don't, you get a lot of responses. So
Oh, you know what? Type in Thor's hammer.
Thor's hammer.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank
And
you.
then Kelly, while we're talking and getting questions, we're going to go Kirk next and then Melanie. Can you put the attachment, like the document with all the links? Can you go ahead and drop that to them in the chat so that they can download the whole document with the links that you're providing? Perfect. Okay, Kirk, go ahead.
Hi, Kelly. Thank you for all of the wonderful advice. This is really, really helpful. I just wanted to ask, what advice would you have for somebody who's starting? Like this is with all these different systems and the VA and everything. What's like a simple way to just start this list and get going without hiring people and jumping, that deep?
I guess it's a little convoluted due to the new laws, but like most people would just pull these lists of leads and start calling and be like, hey, I saw you have an interest rate over 7%. Do you want to see if we can save you some money?
So that would be pulling lists from SmartLead.
No, from PropStream, or
From
you
PropStream.
can do it for free on PropWire. I don't know if the data's as good, but that one's free. And then you can also get it from like a local title company. Just call and ask, and they'll do it.
And when you call the title company, you're asking for like, if you're looking for investors, is there a certain type of loan you're asking for, or what are you asking the title company to search for?
You'll specify whatever info you want. Like you could tell them I want FHA or VA in this area, and they'll just pull whatever you want. Same as
Okay.
PropStream.
Kelly, to add to that question, and I'll make sure if you have follow-up, Kirk, that you can ask it. To follow up on that though, if somebody like right now is listening to this, would you even say to step it back one step? First thing maybe would be just join a couple of investor groups in your community online, like on Facebook. Is that the first thing you might even like taking it back even a step further?
Yeah, it's a gold mine.
There you go, guys. That's the golden nugget. No money out of your pocket, right? And it sounds like that's how Simon built his. I know that's how you originally started. So guys, every one of you have investor groups in your community, Facebook groups. You jump into those, you start talking. Now you've been on enough of my calls, guys. We don't jump in. What do we call it when you jump in into their inbox immediately and try to sell them something? We call it pitch pirating. We don't do that, guys. Right? No pitch pirating. You get to know them. You comment. You observe. The best thing, Kelly, you told me when you first go to these groups, you just read comments for a couple of weeks, maybe comment here and there, but you read to see what people are talking about and asking. You don't jump in and start selling and acting like expert day one. Would you agree, Kelly and Simon, on that?
Yeah, and then when someone is saying something that you can comment on, don't just post like, oh, I can do that, and that's it. You want to go and like write a half of a paragraph or something, adding value so that they know that you're the right person to talk to.
Really good
Perfect.
advice. I mean, oftentimes somebody will be like, I'm looking for somebody that does DSCR loans, and you get me. And then, if you add in something like, I've got somebody that'll do 15% down, and if you get 6% seller concessions, it'll pay off all your closing costs. You really have to put together a very concise but very competent, solution-oriented communication to attract them to you. And then I can't say enough about Calendly, and that's it. I'm not like, hey, DM me, hey, hit me up, hey, call me, text me. I'm like, book time on my calendar, and I don't bother with anybody that's not booking time on my calendar. It's really just not good. Waste of time.
Great advice. Great advice. Yeah, you guys are running a business. Operate it like a business, guys. All right, Melanie, you got your hand up there. What do you got?
Just a couple questions. So thank you for sharing this information. It is great. It seems like you have a great system going on. How long did it take you like to complete this whole process?
So when I first started, I went to the Discord group with all of the people in the class, and that only took me like maybe a couple months to start getting leads in. And then I guess for the rest of these systems, it's just been a learning process. So I guess I'm addicted to learning, but every Saturday I wake up early and I just, instead of scrolling TikTok, well, I mean, I do scroll TikTok, but I learn on there, but I'll just scroll like trying to learn things like, here's how you do this AI, here's how you do this marketing, and like just learn scrolling instead of doom scrolling.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And so my second question is, do you have like any particular lenders that you use when you have all these DSCR loans?
I have a whole spreadsheet. I guess it's like 2 years in the making, but I would put like a lender at the top and then I go through all their guidelines and I fill it out each time I talk to them. And just, I've been compiling it for a long time.
Okay. All right. So you put a lot of work in it and it does look like it and it shows that it's paying off. Thank you.
All right. Anybody else have any questions? While I'm looking for hands. Okay, Kirk, we're going to come back to you. Kelly, I tried to open the link you put in for the Google sheet and I couldn't get it. Anybody else? Are you guys able to open it?
Yeah. I
Okay.
am.
Oh, you are? Okay. Okay. I'll play with it then. Maybe it was just me. Okay, Kirk, what was
Dave,
your follow-up?
That
Dave,
was my question too.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Melanie.
Once you choose the Nexa, you have to be on the Nexa Google in order for it to open.
Yeah, the Google.
Yeah, because I have my own personal one, and when I had it linked to that, it didn't open, but you have to switch it over to Nexa.
Okay, I'll do that real quick, guys, so that I can drop it as a Word doc. So for those, because we have some non-Nexa people on this call as well, Kelly. So I want to make sure they have that doc as well. Okay, so thank you for that info. Kirk, did you have a follow-up question?
That was my question, was about the doc.
Okay, now.
Okay.
Yeah, I was able to get it too.
There we go. She just dropped it back in there now. There we go, guys. Perfect. Thank you. All right. Anybody have any follow-up questions? I think there's a ton of nuggets. Kim, do you have a question? Go ahead. Unmuting.
Is this, yeah, I'm sorry. Do you have to have a CRM or to do this, or could I'm just using a spreadsheet because that's all I've been told I really need. Can I do it with a spreadsheet, or that's just way too complicated?
Yeah, totally. I still work off of a spreadsheet for my pipeline reports. So yeah.
Yep. Again, you don't have to spend a lot of money yet, Kim, as you're growing and building. You can leverage simple tools like the spreadsheet and some automations. Guys, how many of you know, Simon mentioned Calendly. How many of you know that Google has a feature now, a Google Calendar feature that looks exactly like Calendly, and it's free. So if you have like a private Google account you're using, I don't know if it works with your company Google, but Google now has a calendar system that you can set up. It may not be quite as elaborate, but you don't have to pay the $15 or $20 for Calendly. You can use the Google Calendar system. Go Google it, figure out where it is, how to add it to yours if it's not there, but it's free. And it looks like it's a calendar, booking system that sends a follow-up. Jill, you got a question, Jill Koss?
Yes, thank you. So this is definitely high level technology that I don't know anything about. So if I were just to bake this down to a level that I could understand, it sounds like if I use the prop stream and, let's say started searching for FHA, would you recommend, as well as maybe getting on with investor groups, which actually I'm a part of that, and just start interacting with them if I wanted to lean into the DSCR business? Is that what you would recommend?
Yeah, totally. Just start on Facebook. Like there's so many people on there.
Great, great. And then one other question, and that is, you mentioned the Thor's hammer, and I don't remember what that was related to.
Yeah, that one's a little more complex. That's for like, that's sending 10,000 emails per day. So
I see. Okay, thanks.
Perfect. Simon, we'll take one more question here. Simon, let's wrap her, buddy. Make it a good one.
Not a question, but just looking at, obviously PropStream is a lot more robust than this other system, but you can get access to Fluid Pro for free and generate lists. It's just a little bit more labor intensive. And then take that same list, put it into a spreadsheet, obviously use your Kite and Skip. That's amazing. I'm going to do that. Just if you really want something that's incredibly, a little bit more affordable when you do that. But PropStream looks awesome.
mhm.
What's the name of it?
Fluid Pro. And you can get access to it from, what's the guy's name? Josh Tittle in Atlas Title.
Perfect. So guys, some of you think about this. And again, Kelly's built her business now. And I wanted you guys to know that. So literally started in 2023 and look what she's doing, right? She's now starting to think more strategically of how does she pull herself out of the day-to-day, and she's having fun. You can see she's in, I call it the creative lab, right? She's in the creative lab now, figuring out how does she structure and build out little things to start making money that she doesn't have to be a part of. And you can all do that, but each one of you can start taking some of these simple steps, whether it's DSCR, investors, using something like Fluid Pro, PropStream, just to start pulling some data to take activity. Don't try to pick 5 things here, right? Kelly, you and I call it like how many, like landing a plane, like how many different planes do you have that you need to land right now of projects? Several?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you could really get like sidetracked and go down a rabbit hole. So guys, pick one thing. Pick one thing you heard today that was a nugget that could help your business, and just go learn that one thing. Don't try to absorb it all. Go learn one thing. Does that make sense? Land a plane, land your plane. Guys, today is follow-up Friday. You got to make your calls. You got to talk to people. Going into the weekend, you got to clean up your plate. If you missed people, today's the day. How many of you got some great value from Kelly today? Give her some virtuals. Yeah, way to go. Kelly, this is amazing. Look at this. Is this pretty cool? Thank you. I appreciate you. Everybody has the attachment. I will be putting the recording of this next week. It'll go in over the weekend, probably, into the loan officer huddle, and I'll leave it up there for probably the next week or two so that you can go watch it in the loan officer huddle. Okay. I'm putting my email here. If somebody is not in the loan officer huddle, I'm giving you the link. It's free to be in there. I'm not trying to sell you anything. It's totally free. You just have to register to be in it's like that school community she was talking about. You have to get into the community so that you can get the updates every day for the calls and stuff like that. But that's where the recording will go. Okay. Thank you, Kirk. All right, Kelly, again, thank you so much. Appreciate it. You and Simon have a crusher of a time in Mexico next week at your president's trip. You both earned it. Everybody, give them one more. Give them one of these. All right. Way to go. Thanks, guys. Have a wonderful day. We'll talk to everybody Monday, 8:30. Remember, the huddle starts 30 minutes earlier starting next week, 8:30 a.m. Central Time. All right. Thanks, everybody. Bye.